Zero. The schizophrenic with a crystal ball looks for Pac on the butcher's block where an eye-patch gremlin pushes rock. Craving old Rip Van Winkle, Juniper Green, the Polarized Savannah Club, the Jungle Juice and a lean. Bulgy-eyed aerosol inhalers dream aboard in star bases and dark places with incarcerated scar faces. Town Martian with a drinking problem, roaming round starving, screams at passers-by, hallucinating 3,000-pound marlin. 3 killers bumping Barrington Levy walk through the madness carrying Chevy-sized weapons that could bury a Yeti. Craving foreign Glocks, apparel, and Dexedrine, thinking of robbing barrels of methamine and popping cherries in Tel Aviv. Ice blazers and pajamas run through night mazes from a lime-flavored vodka bottle the size of a skyscraper. The tweaker in the shed thinks he's Larry Hoover and LRS shooters, gripping Rugers and Barracudas, rocking back and forth, staring through the hole in the wood at shadow people trying to steal his Lucky Charms and his buried Buddha. Shut out bitch with a buzz cut and a snake and raccoon blood painted toga yells at law enforcement in a rage on Somas. Bandana bag of bones playing gangster like Ray Liotta sips his 8th Corona fantasizing on pushing cane like Sosa. On a throne built of Franklin stacks praying that he'll live like a baller with a machete and a fistful of dollars. Boy Scout turned dope sick animal throws alcohol fits and drinks his gasoline like Aperol spritz. Scab-faced bandit tells a street pirate in a red crown the monkey's off his back but the circus hasn't left town. One-eyed loony stares ecstatic on an idiot box in a padded chamber with a red door with 70 locks. Salivating at the thought of running through a meadow of yellow flowers with a gun, Saturn devouring his son on the wall. A group of twitching bodybuilders watch forensic files, sharpening the swords to give the pedophile second smiles. 3 veterans fill up their heroin needles, minds as twisted as Tarantino's, quoting scenes out of Cinema Paradiso. In a city breathing with bullet trains, shaving Chewbacca's with kryptonite cooking veins, roaring after crooked rains. Where raiders in presidential masks kidnapped his hero and broadcasted his execution live on Channel Zero.
This on Adderall and weed, water and oxygen, man in the machine, it's just part of my processing. We're playing a game of life, it's harder than not to win. I climb back from the fall and start at the top again. These cold and frozen peaks where it never gets warmer and anymore. I just tend to ignore the weather report or an oasis of horror in a desert of boredom. So we get high to pass the time and wait around for the finish, turn the hours to minutes, always too proud to admit it until I started coming down with altitude sickness. It's getting too difficult to fit in a box. Wish I could just visit a doc and give me a shot to fix what I got. Instead of standing stranded, stuck atop a hill of debt and doctor bills. This modern medicine went and got us ill. Didn't have a father figure, so we get a pop a pill. Just some to numb the ache of another dumb mistake. Like, what's it gonna take? I'm feeling done with this shit. And this hunger exists in hundreds of kids younger than this, drunk on a 5th, sleeping out, shooting up under a bridge, worn down against the grindstone of life in the dark, dark places where the mind goes at night, lying on a bed of needles, not a pine cone in sight. If money is the root of all evil, then the powers that be are the flowers and leaves that sour the breeze. Cowards and thieves convince the crowd to believe that great-grandmother Eve stole the fruits out of their trees. This way's been paved in thousands of graves enshrouded in granite, buried down in the planet, trying to make the most out of the little amount that we're handed. So what's the value of all this talent and status when we already lost Alex Buchanan? So tell me, how do you manage this grief as it's coming out in need of another route? Just weep for this mother's child like beasts of the southern wild. It's getting harder to absorb it. We need all of y'all to be supportive, but all we get is warnings and we already ignored them, and apologies in order. So I wrote these couple verses for what's always been important. Just take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Rehab journal entry. A scientist who drank voodoo rangers till he wound up in a cuckoo chamber for screaming that he wanted to shoot his neighbors told us all at breakfast at administration canceled group after the wet brain went in the main hall and splattered poop all over the floor. A drummer that had been locked up in Reno complained about the toothless Hawaiian chef's broccoli burritos, soybean olive casseroles, vegan cheese empanadas, and sweet and sour chicken dishes Chinese as maracas. A Brazilian freak in pajamas with teeth like Barack who'd speak like Obama said he had a seizure at Jamba Juice the same night he got 86 from Mickey D's and Carrabba's. A surfer who spent his adolescence sleeping in plazas. Said he spent his 20s dry in a desert dreaming of llamas in his enemy's mouths. A smoking blueberry on that red beach in Caracas. A bikini mulata serving him pina coladas, feeding him guavas. A bita moana, face hooker craving needle and cava. Told me she made her sponsor eat at palabras. Said the fatherfucker told her a fourth step would wipe out all of her demons and dramas. She laughed and said Mr. Brown had made her people piranhas. A tweaked out Madonna in torn oil-stained jeans and Nirvana shirt, a Trump hat with meth breath she couldn't beat with Banaka, screamed and ready to erupt, her blood feeling like lava, threatened the therapist and promised she was still as Impala. A Manson clone with handlebar mustache and silver nails who still change out of the wishing wells to cop Zinfandel said there's a pit in hell for 13 steppers who play Yoda. An old starlet on the patio chain-smoked a Virginia Slims, whining that you wouldn't have luck if it rained clovers, that a husband had an ego the size of a Range Rover. A tweaker who put in more work for the rock than Jehovah said when that ether of a drug would take over, her mouth was a flamethrower. A copper thief who downed Cabernet, Copa de Vino so they tasted like grape sodas and ate somas like Flintstones till he wound up in a 70-day coma, told me why he worshipped the needle, how it made his veins colder. While I drank Kona, listening to Daytona on a coffee-stained sofa in a stale-odoured meeting room, staring down a fake Mona Lisa on the wall, where our counselor wrote him any day sober, we out with a Crayola.
Hope. There's many paths to life, and I don't know which one to travel, nor am I one of those, though, who chose to hold the judge's gavel. It's a long and stony road alone, the soldiers trudge the battle till their weary souls erode, and the boulders crush the gravel. And if we don't speak up, our silence approved. So here's the things that I didn't do. The poems in his head trying to get through till their noses are red, eyelids are blue. This graveyard's quiet on the midnight shift. You can wear a brave face till your inside's sick. What makes you stronger doesn't kill you. Bit by bit, drip by drip, till it's one too many bourbons. This is for plenty certain. Life's rough for any person. Light blunts for heavy burdens. Nobody was ever perfect, and most of the saints are dead. So go and raise your head, but no sleep before you've made your bed. It's okay to make amends, just wait and save your breath. You'll need that strength to take the steps along this razor's edge, but go on and place your bets, just know to pay respects. Life takes a toll that fate collects, and your soul's the only payment they accept. Too many nameless victims, we could have gave forgiveness. Never too late to save the sinners whose brains been chained away in prisons, being brave to face addictions that are making they decisions. And I miss the people from my past who didn't make it this far, and I won't say who they are, but if they'd raised an alarm, I would have been there to help them not be so afraid of the dark. Just trying to see my sun rise before the day began. It takes a village to raise a child and a world to make a man. See the pain in the lesson, but praise the progression. We're still learning how to face the depression. It's up to us to start changing the methods and learn the difference between shame and acceptance. It's cliche but simple. Remember, we're in this together, whether for business or pleasure. Never diminish the effort of any one of us who didn't give in to pressure, or those of us that did, still deserving compassion. Seal the world you imagine. It isn't perfect, but it's worth it for the purpose of magic. And to me, that's enough reason to live the daydreamer, but still wasn't sleeping a bit. The fact we even exist should be seen as a gift. Life comes from pain. There's no need to resist. My mistakes made me who I am. Still too proud to hide. So pour out an ounce of pride. Nobody makes it out alive. But if I keep on pushing, maybe I'll survive.
Yo. Heck yeah.
That's it,
that was good. That was it.
Hey, thank you, man.